Hi, I'm George Cox. Welcome to this edition of Talk of the Town. We visit the Discovery Museum. We have an update from the superintendent and motivational speaker, Angajan. There's a great museum right here in the backyard in Acton. We're here at the Discovery Museum to find out more about some of the exhibits. Stay tuned. George Cox for Talk of the Town. We are here at the Discovery Science Museum with Neil Gordon, the executive director. Tell us about the museum and how it got founded.
So the museum was started about 34 years ago by Don Berger, who was a local teacher who thought the kids in our area deserved their own children's museum. So he started the Children's Discovery Museum and 5 years later built the Science Museum, such that we became the Discovery Museums.
Excellent. And it's right in the backyard of Acton. If people have never heard of this, what would you like people to know?
Well, we're a fun destination for families, for kids of all ages. Our really target audience is younger kids, but kids much older enjoy the place as well. And we like to think of it as a place where we make learning fun. And it's about lots of things, including science, but also about art and math and engineering and all kinds of good stuff.
And right now we're in the middle of February vacation and it's very busy. How did you gear up for this week?
Well, we know that lots of people will want to take advantage of us during school vacation week, so we're really prepared for that. We have lots of special programming, extra staff, plenty of places to park. So people come, they have a good time. They just have a good time with a lot of other people.
Excellent. And you're doing an expansion called Discovery Woods. Tell us more about that.
Well, Discovery Woods is going to be our response to the fact that kids are not spending enough time outdoors. So we're creating a special place at the museum called Discovery Woods that's a nature-based playscape, which will feature not only outdoor nature-based play activities, but a really spectacular, fully accessible treehouse.
We are here with Denise LeBlanc, Director of Learning Experiences at the Discovery Science Museum. Tell us about the museum.
This is a unique museum because our philosophy is really to get our visitors engaged in the process of science. So we're all hands-on, and we really tell our visitors that we need them to make the museum come alive and to do things. And our exhibits are designed to be very open-ended so that they can do many different things. So from the 3-year-older to the adult, there's always something that they can do with our exhibits. And so we have fun designing things and then also modifying them as our visitors work with them and give us new ideas as well.
So you're going to give us a tour of some of your favorite exhibits here.
Sure. Something that's really popular is something like our amethyst. We're in our rock and mineral area. And so here's a giant geode that's actually from Brazil. And it's gorgeous, and they can see these in other museums, but they can't touch them. So here they can touch it, they can look at each side. It's from Brazil. We have a globe, and so for many visitors, they come and they can relate to it. Sometimes they're immigrants and they'll show it, or even if they aren't, they'll go to the globe and kind of help their child find it. So there's layers of learning. This is a piece of obsidian, which is almost like glass. It's a really cool object. So to be able to have something this large that you can hold on to. So this is volcanic glass, really, and so probably from Hawaii. So what we do is take some everyday things and show that on a dramatic scale, but also to let them interact with it. So we have sand from around the world. We have rock slices that are sliced thin and look like stained glass on the on the wall opposite. So again, presenting everyday things in a really surprising way and also letting them interact with them. This is called Tinker Tracks. So those are magnetic pieces. So there are tracks and funnels, and they can arrange or rearrange them in whatever way they want. And what's really fun is that even someone young like that, he's making tiny adjustments.
Way you learn by doing.
Exactly, and when they have a really pleasant experience like this too, you remember it. So oftentimes when they get into school and now they're learning about it in the classroom setting, they'll remember this great experience, and that helps kind of help them learn it even in more detail.
We are here with Brandy Ramos at the Children's Discovery Museum. You have the funnest job in the world. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I'm an explorer at the museums, and my job is mostly to play with kids. Pretty much I walk around the rooms, I play with kids all day, really. So I get to play with a lot of the toys in the museum, so things like this. We have all of our exhibits, so I get to play in the diner. I get served a lot of food in our play diner a lot too. Things like that.
Now, what can people expect if they've never been here before?
So they can expect that everything here is hands-on, and everything is geared for really young kids. A comment we get a lot is my kid too young for this building? But really everything here is geared to be like for, around 2-ish or between 0 to 5. So.
Excellent, between 0 to 5. Now, we're in an old Victorian building. Tell us how interesting it is just to be in an old house and convert it into a museum.
Yeah, well, I think it's really cool, and I mean, I found long lost scavenger hunt from way back when in the attic, and I went through and I actually looked through. So if you look at all of the rooms here, we have samples of the original wallpaper. So if you go through, you can always pick them out and everything too. And it's also kind of cool to see all the old fireplaces that we have and how they've been built into crawl spaces and things like that.
Now, what are some of your favorite exhibits in this building?
Yeah, so I really like the Backyard at Night room. And I think it's just cool that it's really dark in there, and it's really interesting to see how kids approach the dark. And plus, I mean, it looks cool. We have a tree house that you can climb into. We have a pretend fire pit and stuff like that. I also really like the diner, mostly because I get served a lot of pretend food in there, so it really works out.
Excellent. And when are you here, Brandy?
So I'm here a lot. I mean, it's almost every day, so it kind of works out like that.
All right, so you can come visit Brandy at the Discovery Museum. And once again, if you want more information, visit their website at
www.discoverymuseums.org.
What is the secret to happiness? Let's find out with Angajan, a motivational speaker all the way from South Africa. He had a chance to visit our ActonTV studios. George Cox for Talk of the Town. We had a very special in-studio guest, Angajan. Tell us where you're from, first of all.
I'm from India, born in Kerala, and now I'm based in South Africa. We run an institute called Vedanta Institute, wherein we teach Vedanta philosophy. That's what I'm engaged in.
Excellent. And you were talking about happiness, and what advice would you like to give to people who always complain, they hate their job and a bad relationship, nothing goes right? I mean, what can people do to turn that around in their life?
Whenever you find people complaining, other people are, their job is not good, their marriage is in deplorable condition, and life is miserable, it is a projection of themselves. You cannot keep changing the external environment and find happiness. You got to change your thinking process. So our life is produced by our own thoughts. When our thinking changes, life changes. So these people that you're talking about, they have a tendency to go on focusing about the negative aspect of life. Remember, life is a combination of good and bad. Everybody has got good and bad. You have a choice what to focus upon. So if you go on focusing upon the negative things, you will continuously complain, life will be miserable. So to them, my advice is that shift your focus. This is what we call paradigm shift. When you shift the paradigm, that is changing your thinking process, and then you find, you'll be amazed that the very same job that they thought is miserable will be the happy job. And the very same people that they're working, they find happiness working with them. So therefore, start with the changing the inner thought process.
And what would you like to say to people who sometimes, if you're around people like that, they drain your energy?
It does.
And, what advice would you like to give those people?
First of all, I wouldn't tell them to stay away from such people, because there's so many people in the world like that. You'll never be able to meet people, all right? So what we need to do is change your reaction. The other people's behavior will affect you only if you react to it. You have a choice not to react to it, isn't it? Let's say, for example, when you're driving on the road, another road user is angry with you, all right? Now, when the other person is angry, you have a choice not to react. If you react to the other person's anger, you are affected. If you don't react, you're free from that affectation. So my advice to them is that you have a choice not to react. If you react, you'll be influenced, you'll be affected. And if you're affected, you'll have to face the consequences.
So that's great advice. And you have several books that you've written. If people want more information about your books, where can they get that information?
They can reach my website, angajan.com. That is ANGAJAN.com. And I've written, one of my books is called Value Systems for Success. And the other book is called From Gods to Godhead, The Meaning and Purpose of Hindu Gods, Rituals and Festivals. And I've also authored numerous audiobooks like The Power of Positive Mental Attitude, The Art of Successful Parenting, The Spiritual Approach to Stress Management, 12 Habits of Highly Happy People, 8 C's of Excellence. There are about 18 titles of audio books and the two hard copy books as well. So there are resources available. So they could visit my website and drop in an email, and we could make those resources available.
So remember, if you want to get more information about Angajan, please visit his website at angajan.com. We'd like to thank you so much for coming down to our station to have this talk. And right now we're going to show some highlights of his speech that he gave in the studio. And if you want to see the whole presentation, you can visit our website at ActonTV.org.
Happiness is a mental condition. Happiness is a state of mind, regardless of what happens externally. And it is not dependent upon what circumstances are. In fact, first of all, we have a misconception that happiness is an effect of having something. That is not true. Happiness is not a result, it is not an effect of having success or wealth or joy, it is not that. Happiness has no cause. Happiness is a state of being. It is not affected by any kind of material acquisition or possessions. It is not an effect. So there is, in fact, strictly speaking, there is no reason to be happy. Happiness is, that is our original condition. Happiness is our original nature. That is our essential nature. But we don't know that. Since we are ignorant about it, we are chasing for happiness in the external world. One philosopher expressed it very nicely. He said, looking for happiness in the external world is like a blind man looking for a black cat in a dark room which is not there.
Here are some important messages from the Council on Aging here in Acton.
Here are some of the many services offered at the Acton Senior Center. SHINE, S-H-I-N-E, serving health information needs of everyone. Ask the Lawyer, which is elder law, and the attorneys are free for 20-minute consultations. AARP, AARP, free tax preparation. Fuel Assistance, SMART, SMOC, SNAP, SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Veteran Services, Minuteman Senior Services, for example, Meals on Wheels. Handyman Services, Blood Pressure and Wellness Clinic, Durable Medical Equipment for loan, transportation to health appointments if unable to ride the van, various support groups such as bereavement, and various seminars on topics such as fraud, scams, and up-to-the-date information.
We are at the R.J. Gray Junior High School, and here is Glenn Brand with the Superintendent's Update.
Hello, my name is Glenn Brand, Superintendent of the Acton-Boxborough Regional School District, and it's my pleasure to be here for this latest episode of Talk of the Town. I wanted to take the opportunity that this presents to provide some updates for our community members of Acton and Boxborough around a number of things that are happening at the district level here in AB. First off, a quick update on the budget for what we refer to as fiscal year 17, or the 2016-17 school year, which will be certainly before us before we know it. We are in a terrific place right now as it relates to that budget, and throughout the last number of months have made a number of presentations to the school committee as well as the respective town leaders in both Acton and Boxborough. And we're looking forward to the opportunity to share the budget request respectively for fiscal year 17, and that will be moving forward to the two town meetings respectively in the very near future. For members of the community that are interested in finding out more information about our fiscal year 17 budget, you can certainly visit our district website, AB Schools, to find certainly plenty of information on that budget. Some that is more dense in terms of the numbers that are associated with that, but also a number of reports that you'll find that are, I think, fairly accessible and readable, even if you're not a numbers person, so to speak. There were 3 presentations during our school committee meetings that led up to Budget Saturday, a long-standing institution, if you will, here in the district. And it was that Budget Saturday opportunity that we had the opportunity from the administration to present our respective requests that we believe are important and necessary to operate our district next year. And we look forward to the hopeful support of members of both towns at town meeting upcoming very shortly. Just to shift gears a little bit to somewhat of a budget-related item, but to spend a couple of moments to provide you with an update on capital planning. That is a very important endeavor that we as a district are embarking upon right now. Members of the community might recall that as part of this year's fiscal year budget, fiscal year 16, we included in that budget resources to embark upon a fairly intense capital study. We hired through an open bid process the firm of Dorr & Whittier to conduct that study, and they began in July of 2015. They studied all of our buildings. We have 8 buildings in all, 8 schools, sorry, but 8 buildings in all when you also include the administration building. We have approximately 1 million square feet throughout the entire district, now including, of course, Blanchard Elementary School. And so this study was comprehensive in its look at our infrastructure. Dorr & Whittier presented the findings of their study back in the earlier part of this year, and their presentation can be found on the district's website, and they presented their findings at a school committee meeting back in January. For members of our community that are interested in finding out more information around our district capital planning, you can also find extensive information that is growing online. We've created a separate tab off of the district website entitled School Capital and Space Planning, and there you will find various reports that have been completed to this point, as well as in-depth information around the capital study. I will add that we're thinking more holistically about this capital study in 2 parts. The first part, phase 1, or the existing conditions study, is the piece that I was just mentioning a moment ago, in which Dorr & Whittier presented their findings, and that report is online and available. We're moving into phase 2 of this capital study. That will take us through until the fall, at which time we anticipate their final report. This phase 2 differs from phase 1, where it was more of an analysis of our current buildings as they stand, if you will, right now. Phase 2 will move into more of the opportunity for us as a district to develop a district master plan. And I bring this to our viewers' attention because it's an exciting opportunity that moves beyond just studying our buildings in their current state. But it will also provide the opportunity to help clarify and crystallize, if you will, for the community where it is that we might want to go relative to our school buildings and infrastructure. District master plans are the types of documents that are important for districts to have and for their communities respectively, because what it does is it will chart out our future capital planning over the course of the next number of years, arguably the next number of decades. We're excited to embark upon this second phase of the study, and we're looking forward to wide-scale participation of not just administration, school committee members, but also faculty, staff, students, as well as members of the community. And we'll certainly look to provide updates to the community along the way for this very important work that we're embarking upon. Just a brief personnel update that I'm excited to be able to share. In fact, at last evening's school committee meeting, at the March 2nd meeting, I'm pleased to be able to announce that the school committee has approved the appointment of our new Assistant Superintendent for Student Services, Dr. Dawn Bentley. This is an exciting future for us as we look to welcome Dr. Bentley effective July 1st. That position is part of the restructuring that I shared with the school committee and sought their approval earlier in this school year. Dr. Bentley, when she begins on July 1st, will be responsible for the entire Department of Student Services, as well as a new addition to that portfolio to focus on social emotional learning and well-being across our district. Dr. Bentley comes to us from the state of Michigan, in which she's served many years as a special education teacher, building administrator, as well as district administrator, and we're excited to have her join us. And we're excited to welcome her home, as Dr. Bentley is from Boxborough and graduated from AB. So we're very excited, and I hope you'll join me in welcoming Dr. Bentley. A couple of other quick updates to note. There are two committees that by school policy the superintendent has the responsibility to have up and running. One is the Superintendent's Wellness Committee. That committee this year has been charged with a specific focus on looking at sleep and its connection to young adolescent health and well-being, and as well school start times. I'm sure many viewers are well aware of the conversation that has been happening throughout not just the state, not just New England, but throughout the country around students, their health as it relates to sleep and sleep deprivation, and that's connection to school start times. The Superintendent's Wellness Committee this year is focusing on three particular parts. One, to dig in and try and better understand the research that speaks to this particular topic, and again, the connection between sleep and well-being. Two, to take a look at other school districts, not just in New England, but throughout the country, that have been here already and have been studying more intently the notion of school start times, and as it relates to trying to find that optimal time to begin school for younger students, as well as the older students or the adolescent students. And thirdly, identify the kinds of questions, the kinds of decisions that we as a community might need to make should we consider going down this path of altering our start times. The Superintendent's Wellness Committee will culminate their work with a report that will be presented to me later this spring, and in turn I'll have the pleasure to share that with the school committee. It will not make recommendations as to whether or not we do or don't consider changing start times here in the district. However, it will identify recommendations in terms of where it is that we might go as a community if we want to further consider the possibility. The second committee that the superintendent has responsibility to ensure is operating is that of a safety task force. That safety task force has also been up and running and is focusing their efforts on a number of different areas. And one of those specifically to share with our viewers is around lockdown procedures. And there will be more information to share, certainly with our viewers and with our parent guardians in the very near future, as we look to implement a new plan and approach here in the district for alternative lockdown as another means to try and help ensure our student and staff safety. It's been a pleasure to have the opportunity to share with you these updates. I would certainly welcome viewers to visit our district website. It was redesigned about a year ago, and certainly is a terrific place to find an extensive amount of information, not just about events and activities at the district level, but also as well, of course, for all of our schools. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around the community soon.
If you have a story idea, or maybe you want to be a correspondent on Talk of the Town, please drop us a line at ActonTV.org. Right now, we're going to leave you with a producer spotlight of great shows that we produce right at our station. I'm George Cox for Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next time.
We are going to be combining that scallops.
Nice.
Fish goes on top, and where's our pot cover? hardcover.
In every garden, we grow in each and every garden.
There we go. The rice is all done and it's smelling so good.
But the thing is to keep it light enough before so you can indulge
In the dessert.
exactly.
However, indications for operation is literally a hole in the muscle.
Astrology, art, and spiritual adventure on Turning of the Wheel TV with Chris Fleischer.
Congratulations on winning the 5K marathon here at the Dash and Bash.
Thank you.
Sarah, Lindsay, Grace, Megan, and Bridget. We are a junior Girl Scout troop from Acton.
Act 1, Gen 4, and you are watching ActonTV.
Fire station is in street. There's also an open house happening at the West Acton Fire Station.
A tasting extravaganza called the Taste of Middlesex.
Hi, this is David Nanto. I'm back at Welcome to the Theater.
This time it's a toss. He's got the corner, and it's touchdown Colonial. Oh, it's just hit it. That's a Liam Murray. Speaking of amazing calls, Jay, tell us who you have this week.
This week, I'm going with, told you I ain't scared. I ain't afraid to go with the #1 quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
What happens a lot with iguanas is they'll be way up in the trees above a river first. Does anybody know what kind of animals we might find in the rainforest? Yeah.
Sometimes monkeys.
In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress, recognizing the need for a continental flag, appointed a committee.
Hi, I'm Steve Ledoux, town manager here in Acton. I've been the town manager here for about 7.5 years.
Puberty is a horrible thing for a transgendered person to go through. I mean, we know it's coming. We know at that time when puberty hits, something happens.
So hello, I'm State Senator Jamie Eldridge. Welcome to another edition of Half Hour on the Hill.
We will send a small team of professional naturalists to Nara Park to camp out overnight, walking Nara's trails and the Wills Whole Town Forest Conservation Land trails.